I'm sure you're using AI these days to accomplish whatever task you are expert in, whether you are in marketing, in software development, whatever, you should be using AI these days because it will make your life easier. And to make your life easier, you have to use the correct tools. And to use the correct tools with AI was a little bit tricky before MCP, which is the topic of this video. And previously, if you were trying to use, let's say, for example, you have some data on Google Drive, like Google Sheets or something like that, and you have some kind of data, and you want to access this data, you wanted the AI to understand what is happening there, and you want to ask questions to the AI to whether change data or give you insights or do some task for you. In order to do this, you had to copy the data and give it to AI or set up access APIs to your LLM. And the AI has to understand the APIs, how they work. You have to set up the context, and the AI will have to go use these APIs, which is different from a tool to another. And you have to understand how to use these APIs one way or another, and then let the AI execute some functions for you. And that was really tedious and not standard, and it differs, as I said, from a tool to a tool. So Anthropic came up with a very good standard from my point of view, and a lot of people are adopting this, and even big companies are adopting this. And soon everyone, whether you understand what is API or not, what is MCP or not, you will be using it one way or another. In this video, I will explain what is MCP, why you should care, how I built my MCP for my business, and how you can use my workflow to create an MCP for your business, for example. And I will talk about the concept overall. I will not go into details of the software, how it works, but I will talk about the architecture, how it works from the overall point of view. Let's start. I will first go to Anthropic article, and they released it last November. And the MCP server is a protocol on how you should be communicating, or how your AI should be communicating with your tools to be able to understand it quickly and give context without you have to copy the data or define how the functions will look like. Before we dive deeper, there was like a post on X from Avi, and he explained it's very, very good. Previously, you have like something called function calling. So let's say you have your Google Sheets and you wanted to talk to it, you have to define the functions, how to manipulate it, how to read, how to write, how to fetch the data, and so forth. Maybe it's not Google Sheets, this is like your database or your CRM or whatever. Whatever the tool you are using in your workspace, you wanted to use it with the AI. So previously you had to define the functions that is available for this tool. You have to make the query, and then the LLM will go talk to the function or prepare the function call, and then invoke the tool, and the tool will give a response, and the response is given back to the LLM, and then the LLM will give you the results and tell you what happened. So imagine you're doing this for every tool. You will take forever to set up everything, and it's not efficient and it's not reusable for non-technical people. So Anthropic came up with this idea of MCP server. An MCP server is mostly a server that has all the definition of each tool. Like you have you have MCP server for Google Sheets, you have MCP server for any tool, your Airtable for AWS, for your cloud service, whatever. So it's a tool encapsulated into a standard called MCP server. And your MCP client, which is like, let's say for it's a cursor or whatever the tool or the AI agent you're using, you just have to connect it to the MCP server, and the MCP server will handle it. So here is what happens. So the user will make the query, and it goes to MCP host, which is in this case, in this example, is the Claude or the Claude desktop or whatever, and you have LLM there, and the LLM will return the tools, and it tells the user, or not the user, it will tell the agents what are the tools or the functions that are available to be used for the user. Okay, and then it goes back and tell the LLM what is available, and then it asks for approvals, like what is the API's keys and passwords to use the tool for this specific user. And if it's successful, it will go back and start calling the server. And the server will understand what is happening and start to invoke the tool through the MCP server, and the tool will go back and give the output to the MCP server and return it to the MCP client, and the MCP client then will give it to the LLM, and LLM will give the response. So it looks like it's the same thing. It looks like you're trying to accomplish the same thing. The main difference here is you have a standard way now to communicate with any tool. Let's, for example, say in the 90s, early 2000s, you had many cables for your PC. You had something for your keyboard. You have something for the mouse. You had something for your screen. You had something for whatever interface to your computer. You had everything. But these days, when you go buy any electronics, you don't think about whether it's going to fit your computer or not, because it's all right now a USB-C mostly, or even USB-A. So MCP server, you can think about it as Anthropic defined it. It's the USB for the LLM. So it's a standard way. You can plug it to your LLM or your MCP host or your clients, and you can plug it and it will recognize it. The same thing, like you have a mouse with a USB and you have a camera with USB, and once you connect it to your computer, the computer understands what it does, and you can use it directly without you have to install different stuff for each peripheral you connect to your computer. So let's go back. So this is the main idea. The Anthropic wanted to make a standard way so that they can create tools that can be plugged in the agents, whatever the functionality of the tool itself. So right now we go here to the standard, and we open the introduction here, and we go to the tutorial if you wanted to understand how to build it. But before we build it, I wanted to give you an example how it works and how it looks like, so that you have a feeling why you would like to use MCP with everything. So I created this MCP server for my business, which is Cronlytic. It's a serverless cron job to create cron jobs for my users. And today I will show you how from cursor I can control the tool and talk to it actually, and understand what is happening without logging in. First, I wanted to log in to show you what is happening, but yeah, I will go to cursor and show you that I'm controlling the tool without having to log in. I just wanted to show you how it will look like. So right now there is no jobs created; it's empty. And if I went to cursor, you will see that I have installed the MCP server here. You can go to settings, and from settings you go to tools, and you will find a MCP server if you installed it. So I installed Cronlytic. All the instruction for installment, by the way, will be on the GitHub README file if you wanted to install it for yourself and try it. But I will not show how to install it here. I want to show how the tool works. So as I said, this tool is to create cron jobs and delete cron jobs and understand what cron jobs works, what is the status of the cron jobs, and everything related to this tool. So if you go here to the API documentation, you will find here like this is for creating a job, this is for getting the health, how to use it, and if you're not technical, you will not be able to use the APIs. But with the use of the MCP server, Cursor will be able to use these APIs under the hood to create a job, to delete a job, to edit a job, to get the status of a job, and so forth. So we go here and say, create me a cron job. We wanted to test with this API hook, so we copy it. By the way, if you don't understand what is API, what is webhook.site and how to use it with Cronlytic, there is like a video should be shown here on my YouTube. I've explained what is the webhook and what is the Cronlytic and how they can trigger a webhook on a schedule. So let's go back here and create a cron job, which is like, let's say, every 2 hours every day for this webhook, and name it Saleh dash YouTube, and make the method get. I think that's enough information. So if you notice here, I have not given the agent any information about the tool. I'm just chatting with it. So I'm chatting with my tool actually. So if I just go enter, there is a request because it runs it, but it's not a problem right now. So it will understand what is happening. So it says here, I will create a cron job that runs every 2 hours, and blah, blah, blah. And it will say call create a job. And I don't have it on the auto run. So I just have to run the tool, just approve it, and it will create a job for me. So it created a job with this job ID and give it the expression correct, and the status is pending and ready to run. It says when it will run with a UTC time. So that's what is shown here. So let's go to Cronlytic and see if the job was really created. And we just refresh. And you can see here, the job ID is the same. It created the job with the name I given to it, with the same webhook and the method I specified, without me having to log in and create it myself and put the parameters if I don't understand the tool, for example. So that's really great if you were using different tools and combination of tools all together, and the AI can understand what each tool is doing, and it can orchestrate tools to create something meaningful. So let's do one more function call, like for example, let's delete this job, or first, list me the current jobs and what they do on Cronlytic. And it goes and says call list of jobs, and it will call it. And it says you have one active job, the total is one, and its name is Saleh YouTube, and the job ID and all the information about it. So let's, for example, I want to pause it. Okay, pause this job, and we run it. Yeah, your job paused successfully. If we go to Cronlytic and refresh, you will find the status is paused. That is really awesome and cool. And yeah, let's delete it. For example, delete the job, and we run the tool, and it will tell me that it's delete successful. If I refresh, it's gone. Awesome. So right now I will explain how you can build your MCP server using Cursor, and what is the process I went through to build my MCP server for my business. And you can do the same process to build any tool that is that you really want to create, like something to control something on your desktop or your online custom tool, whatever. So right now we go to build the MCP with LLMs. In this article, it tells you what you need to do actually. So it tells you first go to this URL, and here you will find thousands of lines explaining everything and how to use it. And then it says copy the full documentation text and give it to the LLM, and it give a prompt like this and so forth. But this is not actually what I've done, because when I tried to give this document, the document was huge for Cursor to understand. So I went to Cursor. This was all empty before, and I gave the file, created a folder called docs, and created a file here with a txt or a MD file, and I told Cursor to break it down into multiple files. So it created me those 5 files. You will find them on the GitHub. You'll find the link in the description. And basically, you only need the development guide and a specification to build your MCP server. So once I broke it down, you cannot give a Cursor a huge context and you tell it just build for me something. This is not achievable with the current technology or today's technology, maybe in the future, but right now you have to be smart when you build anything using Cursor. You have to break it down, and you have to understand what is happening. First, I encourage you to read the documentation, understand what is happening, read the files, understand what is the specification, what it does, and so forth. And then start building. For me, when I started to do this, I had only those 5 files, and I had this Cronlytic API, the documentation or specification. This is like the documentation for all the APIs that is working under the hood to let the MCP server communicate with my tool. Once I added this file and all those 5 files, I went here to Cursor and I tagged development guides and a specification and Cronlytic API specification. And then I told Cursor, use these. I wanted to create an MCP server that does so and so and so, and even I used parts of this prompt. And then once I specified everything I wanted to do, I told it, do not attempt to start building, but rather start planning and give me the full plan step by step how to build the tool. And once it gave me a concrete plan that I locked in, like it gave me some steps, maybe some steps I would like to break it more, or I would like to refine it more. So I keep talking to it until I lock the final plan on how I'm going to build the whole system. And then once I locked in the plan that I wanted to work with, I asked it to create the plan in MD file. So it created me this great plan for how I'm going to achieve the tool itself from end to end. And actually, it gave me phases, which is a very, very, very helpful. Once you have the phases of the development, you just execute it one by one. Yeah, here it is. So here are the development phases, and they were 6 phases: phase one, phase two, phase three, and so forth. And each phase, it contains everything that needs to be done in this phase only. And it's broken down to little tasks that I can accomplish using Cursor, and I can even validate. So once I have this plan, every time I tag this file and tag the specification and development guide, and I tell it I have done phase one, or start with phase one and follow the specification and the development guideline for the MCP server, and use the phase one to develop uh, all the features in the phase one. And once the phase one or phase two is finished, I ask it to start testing. And once it starts testing, it will find errors. You have to follow with it and give the errors to it and try to understand what is happening. And always, always review the code before you move to the second phase or the next phase. And once each phase is logged and finished and tested, you should have the working MCP server. It sounds easy and difficult at the same way, to be honest. So it took me like 6, 7 hours working with Cursor to build this MCP server, which is a huge time reduction to build such thing, especially if you don't have experience with how the MCP server works. But I understood everything, the basics, how it works, and I were always reviewing the code that is coming out and trying to understand if Cursor is hallucinating or trying to over-engineer something, or the solution that's offered is that something that I really want. And it will create, as I said, test cases for each phase. And once you move forward, you will have everything integrated and do integration tests for the overall, because most of these tests are mock tests, which it simulate how the tool will work according to this specific phase. It's like a module test, but if you wanted to make sure that it really works, you have to make integration test at the end. So this is how I have developed my MCP server, and it works, and it works really good. I have reviewed mostly most of the code that's given by ChatGPT and Cursor, but it was really awesome when it works. Once it is working and integrated into your host like Cursor or Cloud Desktop or whatever, you should find here that you what tools you have integrated, and you should see a green light here that indicate that the server is running. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and the video was really useful for you. And let me know if you would like to understand something about MCP or AI, and I will make sure to have it in the next videos. And until next time, yeah, catch you.